It's chaotic.
I love the music for the Knuckles version of the stage. Perfect for old school rap. It's so cool. And you know that's a throwback to Adventure 2, so that's great. And a classic game. And you modern fans are getting so upset about, like, not everybody, of course, but I've definitely heard a few. But you know what? It comes with, like, there's been a lot of talk recently on Twitter, and of course, being on Twitter, we're always going to get people ranting, and I know, I understand that. I'm going to the place made for ranting. But I've been hearing a lot of people saying stuff like that they don't like how the marketing for Mania is talking about, like, stuff like it's the highest rated Sonic game in 10 years. But that's pretty par of the course at this point. Like, every company does that. The biggest companies do that. When they have something that's critically acclaimed, they're gonna say that it's critically acclaimed, because there are skeptical people out there that won't buy something unless it's critically acclaimed. There are also a lot of people who don't care about what critics have to say, myself included. However, it's a good marketing tactic to let those people know that it is received well by critics. If I were to make a 3D Sonic game, I'd replace the homing attack with a double jump and make the game more like a Spyro game, running around looking for animal containers and warps to special stages. DJ, that's not a terrible idea. You'd get a lot of backlash because, unfortunately, Sonic means speed to a lot of people, and I think that's what's plagued a lot of Sonic Team games, is that they're super focused on, like, making it feel fast, and in the process of trying to do that and trying to make it controllable, and of course aesthetically pleasing all at the same time, we're left with an experience that focuses a little less on the platforming aspect, which is why Mania Plus is so refreshing, because it's like, hey, remember those games where it had the perfect balance of speed and platforming? Here you are. It's also just a familiar gameplay style for fans, so it's a really just, it's a safe bet that hardcore fans will love this game because it mixes things up just enough, but it's quite traditional, and we're due for something traditional. We really are. To a lot of people, there's too much of this traditional stuff, but to the purist fans who have been waiting for a game that is a genuine return to form, 100%, it really is the first time. No fluff, no classic fluff. This is classic Sonic. You can't just put Sonic in Green Hill Zone and call it a classic Sonic experience. No, that's just a Sonic experience. I do not like Oil Ocean, Chris. Sorry. When I found out Oil Ocean was in Sonic Mania, I was very surprised. Like, I was like, what?
Out of all the Sonic 2 stages.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Emerald Hill.
Like, Sonic 2 is my favorite Sonic game of all time, so I obviously don't hate Oil Ocean that much. I don't hate Oil Ocean by any means.
No, Oil Ocean's not
it's just,
bad.
It didn't seem like a level that people would pick. Like, let's put a lot of dev resources into bringing back Oil Ocean.
Fan favorite. Like, yeah, they're catering to, like, you know, Lava Reef is good, Hydro City's good. People remember those stages. Yeah. But Oil Ocean, people want to forget those stages.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because they're a little tricky and it's like last level stuff. But you know,
but maybe that was like a dev challenge for them. Maybe they were like, we want to take
Madness. Everyone was like, what? But then they made the stage good.
Yeah. Mystic Cave. Yeah, I thought
Mystic Cave.
I love Mystic Cave.
Hilltop is technically Mirage Saloon a little bit.
Hilltop would have felt the same as Oil Ocean to me. I would have been like, okay. You know what I mean?
I really like Hilltop. But there's like...
No, I like Hilltop and Oil Ocean just as much. Like, they're just kind of like, oh, it's that stage.
What other stages are there? Oh, Metropolis? I would not want Metropolis. I have too many bad memories of that stage.
You know, another one that's like, I'm indifferent about? Marble Garden. I don't...
Yeah, that stage
I'm
is
like,
kind of
I'm like, I don't know.
It was okay, but, you know, it's not something like, yeah, put it in Mania.
Yeah, I would never gush about the stages I just suggested, but I would never hate on them. I just, meh.
What other stages in Sonic 2 are there? Besides Chemical Plant.
What other stages are in Sonic 2 besides Chemical Plant? Yeah. Mystic Cave.
Oh, and Mystic Cave, yeah, we said that.
Aquatic Ruin.
Yeah, but that's a water stage.
But that's so.
But it's a good
music. I tend to like a lot of stages that most others don't like. Oil Ocean, Hilltop, Metropolis Zone from Sonic 2. I like the aesthetics of Metropolis Zone too, but for obvious reasons, it's just like, oof, those badniks, the hitboxes on those, and the like never-ending loop. Like, you don't know that, because if you experience that stage upon release, you're not used to never-ending stages, like looping, like vertically like that. So it's like, where am I going? And you could spend like so much time wondering.
So hard.
Hey, fellow Tails, can I get a shout out? Tails Prower 123. What is up? There's your shout out, friend.
What is up, guys?
Tails Prower.
Owner of Tails Channel here, bringing you. That's my Matt.
See, you could do it better than me. Cause I went the route of doing it differently.
My impression of you is, what do you do? What is up, guys? Evan for Tails Channel here, bring you the latest in Sonic the Hedgehog news and updates.
Yeah, that's what I do.
You like do it.
News and up. The first one I did, I want to actually tell a story of that. So the very first time I recorded for Tails Channel was actually before Matt even left, because as you know, if you've been on the channel for quite a while, Matt would get really busy, so sometimes he'd have friends record for the news videos. So I was one of those friends at one point. It was for the Sonic Mania Collector's Edition, actually. And the first time I tried to do it, I tried to do the intro just like Matt did, even like in a funny way. Even if I could manage to do it in a funny way, it would still be fine to me. I don't care. But I actually just couldn't do it. It didn't feel, it wasn't ironically funny. It wasn't good at all. Only Matt, or well, you just did it and it was fine. But I'm talking like it just didn't feel right to me, for me to do it and the way my voice is. So I thought about that and I was like, why isn't it working? And I'm like, well, my only option is...
Why can't I be Matt?
Where's Matt?
God damn it.
Then I thought, I'm like, well, if what works for Matt, like why does that work for Matt? And it's because that's the way his voice is. So I'm like, what is my voice like? And I'm like, well, my voice is really nasally, so why don't I just make it really nasally? So I'm like, what is up, guy? Like I just like made it really nasally, and I'm like, there, it's my own. So I can't do it wrong if it's my own. So there you go.
Bring you the latest news.
Oh my gosh. It was nice to see Vector come back in the cartoon.
Oh yeah, Vector's awesome. I really love Vector. He's really funny.
Vector the Detector. That honestly, I thought the Boom cartoon was great.
That episode is actually like my favorite, to be honest. That was really funny in my opinion. Like Boom has its like, you know, episodes where I'm just kind of like, eh.
We do want a series, I think, as a fan base where the characters are doing more though and less talking. I mean, as far as like dialogue goes, I think Boom did a really great job. But I don't think that fits the Sonic brand as well as I think everyone would hope.
I don't really like the
Sonic characters inherently are designed to move and look good doing it. So for me, it's just so backwards logic when you try to take that design and reverse engineer it so that they can be more personality based, when it's like, I mean, yeah, I'm glad you're changing their design because you're expressing awareness that they're not currently at the best design to, you know, be animated and be dialogue heavy and comedic through dialogue. But Mania Adventures, I think, is just so much more in tune to what the characters are originally made to be doing. And I think as a fan base, we don't want them to change everything. We want them to just get what they have right. So, do you think they should keep Classic Sonic Universe separate from Modern Sonic Universe? Totally. Absolutely. What do you think?
Yeah, leave Classic out of Modern, please.
Just keep them separate.
Keep them separate.
You gotta keep them separated.
Generations, it was fine because it was to celebrate 20 years.
Oh yeah.
Forces was to capitalize on the popularity of Generations and just Classic in general because of Mania. But I think I'm kind of done with that kind of storytelling. Plus, Classic really didn't have much of an impact on the story of Forces, in my opinion. He's got one boss fight, two if you count the final boss.
Hey, Papa.
But I mean, he didn't really need to be there. So,
Hi.
I do like Classic Sonic, just it's not really done exactly well. Plus the physics, you know, the physics are not, they weren't well in Forces, definitely, for Classic anyway. Generations, they weren't as bad, but like, a lot of the reason why people love Mania is because it's very accurate towards how Classic Sonic plays.
Hey, don't boop my mic.
Like, I'd argue that this is, like, probably the best Sonic, classic Sonic game, like the way it feels. Like, physics-wise, it might be the best in the classics.
Yeah, definitely. Christian Whitehead has been, like, cultivating this this engine for, like, years and years. So, yeah. That's what was so excited about Christian Whitehead working on a new, like, original classic Sonic game. Although it's not as original as many people would have hoped, I'm sure there are good reasons for that, and I'm sure that if Mania Plus does really well, buy Mania Plus with money, then we'll get more original content in no time. Our messages have been heard, trust me. Us classic fans don't want rehashes despite what you may believe for the rest of our lives either. We all can agree that some fresh aesthetics will be greatly appreciated in the future. I think we'll get some sort of spiritual successor to Mania. Not like Mania 2 or anything. It won't be called Mania 2, but I think we'll get something like that.
What the hoo-ha?
How can you not, with like a critical and... I mean, we don't know yet. Well, actually, we do kind of know from that Steam leak that we reported on earlier. It's a financial success, it's a critical success. If you're not going to make any kind of sequel to something like that, I mean, they must have something that they think is even better planned then. I don't know. Sonic Forces Plus, no thanks. There's a lot of people thinking that Forces DLC is coming out. And, like, maybe, but I really, really, really feel like Comic-Con is going to be about TSR. Forces?
So then what's
maybe Forces DLC, but like maybe a costume. That's all I prophesize. Like maybe an Infinite costume, but a real one, not a mod. Yo, people will be so upset because there's already a mod for it. Play as Infinite! It's like a big deal. It's like everyone... But yeah, but console gamers will be excited. Who knows? If there's like an episode Infinite, like in a perfect world, I want episode Infinite because I feel like Infinite is just like 2 or 3 cutscenes away from being redeemable. It's just, he's just not explained. There's just not enough explained there. Not even an episode Shadow. There wasn't even enough. We need a little bit more. Not even with the comics either that they added at the beginning. It's not enough. Why is he so triggered about being weak? Why does he all of a sudden decide to betray all of the people he ever knew for some random guy he met because he saw an illusion on the Phantom Ruby of World Conquest? Like, where does that come from? Infinite is literally 2 or 3 cutscenes away from being just as popular as Shadow was in SA2. Maybe?
I think all because of his design, really.
Yeah.
His design is really cool.
And the theme, that
his
blew
theme
up.
is awesome. Yeah.
And if it was, like, narratively justified, it would have been marketable so easily. Just bam, what would have happened before we knew it? Kids everywhere would have just loved Infinite.
Infinite's theme got, like, it shot up faster than Fist Bump.
Oh yeah, totally. No doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
That is the theme of Forces. As far as I'm concerned, that is the theme.
It's really helping with that side.
I mean, there's fans of Infinite right now, and I'm sure that the fans of Infinite are just, they're okay with not knowing why he's triggered. It's just enough knowing that that's his trigger, and they probably, like, relate to it. A lot of people have, like, a trigger. I just feel like, for me personally, I'm interested as to why. Why does he have a superiority complex? Why does he have to be #1? Where does that come from? It's interesting. There's potential for something really interesting to the Sonic series there. So it's disappointing that there was so much potential for that, and it's just not there. To me, that would be the highlight of the story. That would be the most important part. Not Infinite losing to Shadow. That would be like smaller, less priority.
This kind of reminds me of my first Sonic Mania playthrough. We spent like a long time on each stage, and we didn't get all of the chaos.
Well, viewers of live streams really do not tend to consider the fact that you're trying to be entertaining while playing the game.
Entertaining is hard.
I'm
sweating.
People will always be like, when I played it, my average time is like 5 minutes, even on a bad day, and I'm like, dude, we're talking, we're like looking at stuff in the level to be like, to like see the new stuff. We're like exploring all the levels. I don't know. You gotta try streaming before that. I mean, and there are just people that are better than us. You wanted to get in that?
You need a new character.
Oh, right.
You might have Sonic and Knuckles.
I mean, there are people that are better at this game than us, of course, too. But I'm saying that most people that complain like that, they streamed. It would either they'd play really good, but they wouldn't be commentating a lot.
No, that's so dumb. Mary Johnson says they will not make Sonic Adventure 3. Well,
Is that in the chat?
are you sure about that?
Are you sure about that?
Are you 100%?
Why would they
sure?
not make something that a lot of people are asking for at some point? Like, you can't completely deny something like that. How do you know?
We ask for
Sonic
something
will
long
be
enough.
alive longer than you. How do you know?
Never mind.
Whatever. Anyway. What were you gonna say?
I'm just saying, like, people wanted a game like this for so long,
Yeah.
and we got it. This is for classic fans. Well, essentially, classic fans wanted a game like this, and maybe like just neutral fans in general. But yeah, you asked for something long enough. Like, people didn't know we were gonna get a Shenmue 3, but after years, Sega listened.
Oh no, I just jumped badly.
And the Sonic fan base is just really adamant about what they want, and there's a lot of different things that we all want. So it's all crazy. The Sonic team can only listen to so much. I think eventually we'll get Adventure 3. And if not Adventure 3, a Sonic game that caters most to Adventure fans, because they've technically been waiting the longest for their game. Classic gets a lot of love. Modern Boost gets the same amount of love, because that's where Sonic is at right now. Adventure fans have really just been waiting the longest for Chow Garden, a more cohesive story, multiple playable characters in 3D, something like that.
I am honestly on the team of the belief that Mania, despite what you may believe, is actually also just as important for modern fans, because now we're using pillars in the Sonic franchise. Before we weren't. Generations was a game that they were once again trying to cater to everyone at the same time, because of course from a corporate standpoint you want the most people to be excited. However, what that does is, in the end, because the fan base is so fractured, as we all know, it's impossible. And we know that because we're in it. Sonic Team, believe it or not, they're not in it like we are. We know. We're the only ones that know how fractured it is.
See what I mean? There's a bunch of like moving mechanical parts. That's what leads me to believe this.
No, we're totally inside. I totally believe you. But we know that from first-hand experience. They don't. But what I think Mania means is, one, fans know some stuff. Two, we can now be using pillars, which means now that we are... Classic Sonic is unchained from modern Sonic now. And now that means modern Sonic is also unchained from classic Sonic. Unchained. They are no longer stuck together. They don't have to be anymore. It's... Honestly, this is a win for everybody.
Because Mania's a good game, like, all around.
If you like the Sonic brand, supporting this game, I think, is very, very important. I really believe it. I don't know for sure, but I believe it in my heart. I seriously do.
That was good.
No, I don't necessarily think Pasquale was trying to say that Adventure fans need to wait, or have waited more than Classic fans. I don't think that's what he meant.
No, that's not what I meant. Classic fans definitely waited a long time for something like this. Like, they technically didn't get this type of game till, like, what, Sonic 3 and Knuckles? So, I mean... And then Generations got love.
And 22 years is kind of harsh to say, because it really hasn't been 22 years of grieve waiting. Like, we haven't been grieving, and it's more like the franchise was, like, changing a lot, and people fell off at all different times, and, you know. But what's undebatable is that the group that has been waiting the longest for their game are the people that are getting Mania now. So, for me... Everybody who is, like, trying to add a sour kind of off-key note with, like, a comment or a tweet. I mean, you're allowed to not enjoy Mania, but it really feels like, to me, it's like a party pooper thing. Because the context of what this game represents is what's important. It's not just another game to me. It's made by fans, dudes. Like, this is like Crash Twinsanity if it was made by people who grew up playing Crash. So not only is it that remake that you've been waiting for to play that old experience again, but that old experience was brought to you by someone who knows exactly what it's like to experience it. I don't know. Why not throw money at that? That is an experience in all of gaming. And my scope of all of gaming is pretty small. I'll confess. I'm not much of a gamer, so I don't pick up all the latest titles, but I'm pretty sure this is a really big deal. I think. No,
I like listening.
That's just what I do when I'm like, we have nothing to talk about. I'm gonna ride this speech wave. This'll.
It was good. I wholeheartedly agree.
Thanks, dude. Every once in a while, if I drink enough orange juice, I get a few of those speeches in. Thanks, Slash. I really appreciate it. Honestly, I'm not sure what I said. I'm gonna have to go back in the archive and re-listen to it to make sure I personally agree.
Like, I don't agree with what I said at all.
Sometimes I do that, and then I tweet right after and go, "Sorry guys, I want to apologize." Like
It wasn't even that bad.
No, I don't know. I feel like it's important for an individual to doubt themselves to a certain degree to make sure.
You're speaking on the spot. You didn't prepare.
Yeah, you're trying to make sure. I'm just trying to make sure that what I'm saying is something I identify with, and I am accepting the possibility that I messed it up.
Dude, you're wicked smart.
That's gonna happen. I can mess up. I will mess up. One day I'm gonna say one of those speeches, and it won't be good. And you can tell me that, and I'll be ready to fix it, or whatever, or not be able to do it. It does seem like a lot of people bring down Mania for nostalgia, pandering, and stuff like that. Yeah, it's very nostalgic, but it's also undeniably charming. Yeah, but I don't even... But Enclosed Granddad, as funny as that name is, I'm gonna shift the gear back to serious. But, Granddad!
Just gotta get it out.
Anyway, I don't even think the conversation is about that, though. That's what I'm saying. I think the reason that people keep focusing on nostalgia is because we keep talking about it. Even when we praise it, right? Like, even me, right? I got really excited because I saw the Metal Sonic transformation from Knuckles Chaotix, right? And it was like the Death Egg robot in Sonic 3. So people who don't care about the nostalgia are gonna see us freaking out about that, and they're not gonna resonate. That's not gonna resonate with them, and it's very easy because 90% of the explosive reactions to Mania are all nostalgia based. But my argument is that it's not even about that. It's about the context. It's about what had to happen to bring this game into reality. I don't even want to talk about Green Hill Zone. It's not about Green Hill Zone.
Yes, you do.
It's about how we got to Green Hill Zone Act 1 in Mania. Not about that it's in Mania. Because everything that came before and what made Mania happen means that it could happen again. And maybe Act 1 won't be Green Hill Zone. I mean, we were pretty loud in talking about that. I'm pretty sure the message was heard. So, you know, that's why I'm happy about Mania. For those of you who maybe don't understand. I mean, if it makes you feel any better, Jark, I would play Sonic 06 over Sonic Rise of Lyric anytime, any day of the week. There are things to enjoy in 06. There is. You can play it and have a good time. You can. It's possible. I'm not going to be the one that says, it's mud. Like, I'm going to burn it. Like, it's useless. No. No. Especially now that you can get it, like, super discounted. There's an experience in there for you to enjoy. Rise of Lyric, I feel like it's just kind of like... It's... You can't unironically enjoy it because it's the first in what was supposed to be a series of redesigned games, which means it's unfamiliar and sloppy. At least 06 is familiar, so you can be like, oh, this is like Heroes, like oh, those rainbow rings. It functions the way that I would expect to some degree. Boom, not only are you trying to learn new mechanics, but it's implemented in a way that like is just... That's as far as I'll go, you know what I'm saying? No, but Jark, I feel like since I'm the streamer, I gotta talk for everyone who disagrees with you too. Do you know what I mean? There's gonna be people in the chat that might be sending you their opinion to defend themselves. Maybe they really hate 06, or whatever. And I like to be the one that's like, well, okay, I'll speak for you as well, just in case you weren't heard, just so that the whole chat can be maximally. You can tell my word juice is running out, and I just ran out of orange juice. It's true. My word juice.
Oh, this part.
It's my word juice. That's interesting. I'm sure there are people who are more familiar with games like Rise of Lyric that enjoyed Rise of Lyric, because they're more familiar with games like that, and they were probably happy that another series they knew was going that route, and they could get into Rise of Lyric no problem. Do you think we can get a game like Mania with more original levels?
Definitely.
Oh yeah, that's what I was basically just spending like an hour talking about. I think it's coming. That's what I think Mania means, is that it's possible. And it never felt like it was before. It felt way more uncertain where the future of the brand was going. I know that to a lot of people, Forces means that the brand is going where they don't want it, but honestly, I can't ignore what Mania means to me. I can't ignore what it means. Whatever you think Forces means for the brand, to me, it's completely overshadowed by
oh my god,
everything that's going on. Like, yeah, you might not like the memes Aaron posts, but Aaron does a lot more than just post memes on the Twitter. Just saying. Jark, that's interesting. Jark, that's why you like Forces about what it could mean? Are you referring to, like, the drastic shift in tone? And, like, the greater focus on other characters and stuff? Like, do you like the steps they're taking in terms of that? I can kind of see that, too. Or is it, like, the custom hero? There is a lot of, you know, Forces is a bag full of stuff. There's a lot of stuff to kind of, like, talk about. And whether you like it or not really depends on your taste.
It's kind of like Forever Sonic.
Yeah. Well, and it's no surprise either. With a fan base as fractured as ours, it's like a never-ending loop, right? Because we're fractured, they make a game that's unique so that we have to experience it before we can make a judgment on it. But because they keep making something unique, we're more fractured. Because there's one person that loved the OC creator, and the other person despised it.
Sonic the Hedgehog, the fractured butthole.
That's just another fracture. So, I don't know. To me, I feel like they should stop doing things like that and find, like, use pillars instead. So split the franchise like they have, because, you know, you're gonna have to.
Doing so much better this time.
That's good.
Sorry, guys.
The tone and characters. Yeah, I can see that, Jark. I can see that. I'm hopeful for what will become of Modern Sonic as well, but mostly because of what Mania means, because now they're both unchained from each other. I think with games like Generations and Forces and Lost World, Colors, it feels like Modern Sonic is held back by the idea of what classic Sonic is to Sonic Team. Mania brings to the forefront, they're like fans are like, okay, Colors was cute. This is what classic Sonic is. And I feel like that's why it's exciting for Modern Sonic as well. If it didn't make sense in my long-winded speech earlier.
I like the different Wisp-on attacks. I like playing as Shadow in Supersonic. I like doing the time trial missions. Different Wisp-on attacks? Forces? Oh, okay. You must be talking about Forces, Jake Spore. Or Jark Spore, my bad. Yeah, I love playing as Shadow. Shadow's great. Shadow's fun. And the Wisp-on weapons, they're cool. You know? They made me kind of appreciate the Wisps more. Because in Colors, they were fine. In Lost World, it just kind of seems like, oh, they're just a power-up. They just shoved it in. It didn't really enhance the gameplay like Colors did. And they added, like, useless Wisps, like Rhythm and Bomb. Like, they're really dumb, in my opinion. But the Wisp-ons are cool. They, you know, it you know, changes how you go about, you know, taking out enemies or doing a level in general. Yeah, you could completely skip a stage with, like, Burst. Like Imperial Tower, which is a hard stage, it's so easy. if you just have the burst wisp, because you can just, or even hover, you know.
What were we talking about?
I don't know, man.